What's up, y'all? I'm Lady, and in today's video, I want to wrap up the month of February and share with you what I have read so far in the month of March. So it's the 14th, pretty much we're in the middle of the month, and I am about to drop off a stack of books. Some I have read, some I have not read, but I want to share them with you all like I always do, right? And then I realized that I never did a wrap up for the month of February, and I want to try my best to wrap up each month this year. So, yeah. So, as always, I got my notes right here so I can remember, what I've read and everything. So, in the month of February, I read 4 novels, 1 comic, and 1 graphic novel. So, the first thing I finished was Trouble is What I Do by Walter Mosley. This is the 6th book in the Leonid McGill series. I'm not sure if it will continue or not. I could see how it could, but I would be fine if it didn't. It was really good. Of course, I can't share many of the details, but I did give that book 4 stars. I enjoyed the case that he had in this particular book. In this book, a case came to him where he had to share with someone who is a major, like, MAGA Trump supporter and just pretty much flat out racist, but he had to share with them that they were actually African American, which was hilarious to me. And the story was good. It ended good. So, hey, I have no complaints. It was a good book. So, I will continue with the series if another one comes out, and I do recommend that series. Okay? So the next thing I read was Goldie Vance Larceny in La La Land. This is volume 5 of the Goldie Vance series, and this one is by Hope Larson, Jackie Ball, and Molly Rose. I gave this one 4 stars. I don't have it. I've already turned it back into the library, so it's not here in my stack to turn back in. So I put a picture up here, but I enjoy that series, and I hope it continues. It's a really fun series. I then read Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney, and I gave this one 4 stars as well. As someone who grew up in the church, the younger me can definitely identify with the character in this book. It's been all over like Bookstagram and I think Instagram. So I would recommend it. Definitely for younger readers. So the little girl, she grows up in the church. Her father's a pastor, and she has a boyfriend, and him and her have decided they want to have sex before marriage, but there's an issue. It's very painful for her, and so she looks to help from a friend, and you know how that goes. Teenagers, because of religion, has taught, we don't talk about the thing because then it'll make them want the child to do the thing, right? And it leaves children ignorant, so, and that's what it was. She was just ignorant to what was going on with her body because her super religious parents did not discuss sex with her. So, yeah, really enjoyed the book. I really like the ending, and I think it's important, a good book to share with teenagers, young adults, whomever. I would suggest it. Then I read On a Sunbeam, which was a graphic novel. It was a huge one, by Tilly Walden. I gave it 3 stars. I'm not sure how to describe that one completely, but overall I enjoyed it and I would recommend it. But it's like based in the future, and these people living on a ship, and they do construction work, and the main character, she had a girl that she had a crush on when she was in school. Somehow she ended up leaving school and being on this ship doing construction work, and then they helped to reconnect. Something like that, y'all. I'll leave a picture of it here because I already turned that one into the library as well. But it was good, very interesting, very long, but still very interesting. I would recommend it. Then there was Moonrise over New Jessup by Jamila Minix. This was a debut novel, and I pretty much told you all about it in that February reading vlog that I had. 3.5 stars, just wasn't quite 4. The writing in it was beautiful. She excellent writer and description. But it was just lacking something. Definitely the last 50 to 75 pages, the pace really picked up and I enjoyed it, but the ending just seemed to fall flat for me. I would recommend it. It's not something that I would say you have to rush out and go and read, but you won't be disappointed if you read it, you know? And then the last thing I read in the month of February was Like Trees Walking by Ravi Howard. And I do have that one here to turn back into the library. This one was the Read Soul Lit book for this year's Black History Month, and it just wasn't quite 5 stars for me, but this one is so good. It is about a real lynching that took place in Mobile in March of 1981, and it's really good. It's really good because they used the real person's name who was lynched. He was a 19-year-old, and it tells the story of his friends and how they deal with it. The funeral, his friends work for the funeral home, and I just couldn't imagine being, working for a funeral home and then someone that and is close to ends up on your table. I'm sure it's bound to happen. And I just think this author did a great job. And I would also like to recommend you watch the wrap up chit chat over on Dee Dee from Brown Girl Readings channel. And they enjoyed it as much as I did. And they go into a lot more detail about the story. And I know lynchings, who really wants to read that? But this is short. He does a great job in less than 300 pages, really right at 250. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend this one. So let's go through this stack of books that I'm returning to the library, and I'll tell you if I've read them or if I did not. Okay, so the first one is this one, Rosa Parks and Claudette Colvin. I did not get to this one just because I know the story and I read like the first 10 or 15 pages and just did not want to continue. But due to respectability politics, Claudette Colvin was not used as the face of the Montgomery bus boycott. Instead, Miss Rosa Parks was used. And so this goes into that story, and Claudette tells the story of Claudette when she refused to move and from her seat on the bus, and as well as Miss Parks. So I didn't read it, but I know the story, so I'm returning it to the library. The next one is a nonfiction graphic novel, and this one is Guantanamo Voices, and this is true accounts from the world's most infamous prison, and that's the Guantanamo Bay. Edited by Sarah Myrick, and introduction by Omar El Akkad. I think that is this one right here. I highly recommend this one. I gave it 5 stars. It's about 12 chapters in here, each one told from a different person. Some who were prisoners and held at Guantanamo Bay, some attorneys, some politicians, some journalists, and it just gives great history on Guantanamo Bay. And so I just absolutely enjoyed this, in graphic form, because honestly, I probably would not have taken the time to truly go through and read this history if it wasn't in this graphic novel form. So if you're interested in anything about Guantanamo Bay, I highly recommend this one right here. Then I read, or this isn't in the order in which I read them, just the order in which I have them stacked in my car before going in this library. I read Salette London, volume 1 and 2. And I've already requested volume 3. My library system does not own it. So it'll be coming from another library system. But you have Al, who was found in a he was on the train or the tube in London when the mayor was killed. So he is a prime suspect, and he finds the bloody knife, which is likely the murder weapon, in his pocket. So that's all I'll say about that, y'all. I gave these 5 both. Did I give them 4 or 5 stars? I'm thinking I gave them 4 stars, but as I think about it, I really could bump these up to 5. Really good. I like Al. That's Al. And I really like Detective Ellis. I like their backstories that we're getting. And I just like the way this is written. It is so good. So much so that as immediately after finish the second one, I searched out for the third one. And so I read that the third one is the final installment. So we'll find out the mystery, who killed the mayor, in volume 3. So just know that. I didn't know that. Don't think you're going to get separate mysteries. This whole thing is about solving one mystery, which was good. Okay. And then I finished. Did I finish? Yes. Skies of Ash. This, I talked about it when I picked it up from the library. This is book 2. I gave this one 3 stars. It was really good. A bit up and down all over the place with trying to solve this murder. This family, this mother and her 2 children are killed in a house fire. We don't know if it's the husband or whoever it is that was the cause of it. And that's the mystery that Detective Norton is working on. And it was 3 stars. That's about it. I'm taking this one back because I decided to purchase it. And that is A Spell of Good Things by... I'm not going to say her name because every time I read it, if I just want to... Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. This is new. And I checked it out time I saw it because I loved her book, Stay With Me. But I'm going to send this back because I decided to buy it, actually. So I'm waiting for it to come back. Charming as a Verb is I think this one is a YA romance or something like that. I got it because I was planning to read it with my niece and my sister, but we didn't get around to doing that, and so I just never picked it up. So I'm turning it back in. Okay, Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mom Died. Y'all, it's hard for me to even say this title, right? But in her instance, I mean, hey, the things her mom put her through, It's just unbelievable. And so this is our April read for the 8th of March book club. And so I'm looking forward to talking about this one. I'll say she definitely told her story in a funny way. Even though it's, you know, very serious. Like, her mom passed away of cancer. Her mom was, I mean, very abusive, verbally and in some other ways. So I definitely recommend this one, and I'm looking forward to our discussion. Two more and we're done. The Sacrifice of Darkness. This one is Roxanne Gay and Tracy Lynn Oliver. I talked about this one when I picked it up as well. I just gave it, I think I only gave this one 2 or 3 stars. I like the art in it. The story it just seemed to lack something. So we don't understand how this man flies into the sun and then the world becomes dark. And so they have to live in darkness, and they live in darkness for several years. And yeah, I don't know, y'all. 2 stars is all I gave this one. I just wasn't, it was just okay. Not even really. The next one it's got this thing on the front and this sticker on the front because this one had to come from another library system. But this one is Reading Quirks, Weird Things That Bookish Nerds Do. It's the title of this one. And this was fun and funny, you know, to read, kind of making fun of all the crazy things that us bookish people do. Some of it I laughed about and, you know, sent some snapshots to my friends and was like, yeah, I've definitely done this to you before. Definitely sent something to Kevin, was like, does this remind you of anybody? And so, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. So y'all, I'm home in the drive way, and I realized I did not share what I've actually picked up. So I dropped off all of those books, but I only picked up one. And that is In Airy Mirror, She's Black. This, if I can show y'all, cute cover. This book is for the 8th of March book club that I told you all that I'm in. This is the book that we will discuss in the month of May. Why I checked it out so early, I'm not sure. But since I got it, I'm going to keep it. And just, it's no other additional holes on it. So my library will allow me to keep this book for like 9-10 weeks or something like that. So I have it on deck for when I'm ready to read it before our book club. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the February wrap up and I guess the middle of the month check in. Oh, and the only other book that I mentioned that I've read this month that wasn't in that stack is because I own it, and that's Grant Park by Leonard Pitts Jr. 4 stars. Excellent book. He just can do no wrong, in my opinion. And the more I think about it, I'll probably move that one up to 5 stars. So yeah, just like his other 2. So that's my 3rd Leonard Pitts Jr. The only one I have left is Freeman, I think it is, and I hear that one is excellent as well. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, y'all.